Got to sit down with Darryn Beutler, a local farmer in the area, and we discussed all things agriculture. Agriculture has been the draw to our area in the past, and it still is today. In fact, if it wasn't for our great grandparents settling in the prairies, seeking a better life, we wouldn't have been here. Nor would we have come to appreciate the efforts that have been made in advancements of technology. Agriculture is an essential industry due to the large impacts it has on the world, but it also plays a big part in the local area as well. While farming is a way of making a living, it is also a way of living, and in that shared belief, we see communities form. We talked about all this, alpaca farming, and more. This is our ninth episode of Community Conversations. I'm your host, Kathryn. Let's converse. Okay, so the way I was raised, the color you drive tells you a lot about you. So what color do you drive?
Mostly green, but probably not for the same reasons.
Probably not, yeah. My dad's kind of red, I dye green. So, but what is your favorite tractor model? Because my dad has one, and I know when I first talked to you about this question, you said, I don't know. And my dad says he knows what your favorite tractor model is.
Probably 4440.
I think that might have been what it was.
The one.
Yeah, and what about that tractor is?
It's just universal. Can be used. It's practical. Used on both sides, grain, cattle.
Yeah.
Right size, both PTOs. It covers a lot of bases. Old and easy to work on.
Perfect.
Yeah, that pretty much covers it.
Yeah. So what is one thing that you can't live without on the farm?
Well, you're talking like just fuel or fertilizer, or are you talking...
It can be literally anything that you feel like this is my one essential on the farm. Like I would even accept a cell phone if you felt like that was your essential.
Yeah, that was the one I wondered about. I would say fuel is the biggest thing, because nothing moves, nothing happens. That's the one thing that...
Fair enough.
Can never have enough of it, just...
Yeah, no, fair enough. So I've been known to say that farming is not just a way to make a living, but a way of living. So do you agree? And if so, what makes it a lifestyle, and what are some of the benefits?
Yeah, I would agree. For sure, it's probably changing as some of these farms get bigger and bigger, I think. But in my case, it's a little bit of both. It's a way to make a living, but also the land is an investment. So you're kind of hitting it from both sides as a job and investing, but that land is also making the job as well, not just an investment.
Right. And then what makes it more of a lifestyle?
Probably just being your own boss and making up your own, your own hours. You're not working for anybody else.
Right.
And I think regardless of what job it would be, if you're self-employed and have your own business, it becomes a lifestyle more than a job. Just the fact everything falls back to you, whether you make it or break it or whatever. That's where the lifestyle side comes in, and probably not just farming, but any business that you own and manage.
And then farming is also unique though too, because there is kind of like a farming community as well. So speak to that a little bit.
Well, it's all I've ever known, so I don't know if I have the other side to it. But it is. I mean, just like-minded people, and all doing the same thing, and you got the same common goals,
right?
And the same,
Yeah, I think too of like even like it's such a family. It's a very family business thing, right? Like many generations take over after, and then like family like suppers in the field during harvest because everyone's working, and so you got that few seconds to sit down and hang out with each other before back to work. And then also like I remember the one year that I don't think Dad was done yet, but you guys were, and you like came over with your combines to help him finish getting the crop off the field. So like there's always that too of like farmers helping other farmers out.
Yeah, and I'm sure every year goes one way or another. I know we've got help from your dad many years in the last whatever it's been, 26, 27 I've been doing it. And friends, family, everybody's got the common goal, trying to help you get done, and
No, that's awesome. So why did you choose to become a farmer?
Well, probably somewhat. When I graduated, it wasn't even on the radar.
Oh, really?
There was zero. It was get out of town. But again, canola was worth $3.80 and oats were 90 cents and wheat was $2.50 or whatever. There was no money in it. There was no. That's all I'd ever heard growing up. Though it was you got to get out. Like that's you graduate and get out and
Right.
and do something. That's so when I graduated, there was probably no interest or whatever. But I guess a few months later, cattle prices were picking up and jobs weren't as easy to get. I mean, oil field was booming. That was probably the only real job there was there. So I mean, pretty much everybody graduated and headed to Alberta. That's just what you did then or whatever. But then the opportunity come up there with the farm not far away with my grandparents and your dad there bought and had the chance to move in and actually start something there with a little block of land and cows were at that time were probably relative today they were quite good money I would think and it was a chance to be more or less self-employed and try and make a living. And then it didn't take long though. Once, I would guess a few months into that, it was decided that was that's what I wanted to do. And then them days it was all cattle, never really grain farmed a whole lot. That was just it was easy to just go to town and buy cows.
Right.
And then the grain kind of come as I got older. Work got harder and that's just slowly kind of transitioned from one to the other. So and then a little more land bought up or whatever and that's just the way it went.
Right.
I don't know if there's any real plan to that, but
no. So but your dad was grain farming though, right? Okay. And then you helped him with that when you had your own stuff, or were you guys kind of separate?
I didn't, probably not as much as I think. The busy seasons probably a little bit, but I had lots of cows down there, and I mean he'd come help in the winter, and I must have helped some there on his farm or whatever. But the start was for getting into the grain farming or whatever after, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. I forget what year. Whenever I started grain farming with a fair bit, just a lack of straw. Nobody wanted to give up straw, and I had close to 300 cows and needed to supply straw, so started baling some with Dad and working with him, and then rented a bunch of land up around his place, and then spent the falls hauling straw south. That seemed to be one of the things that got into the grain farming, got Dad and I working together was that just looking for a supply of straw.
Oh, okay. So is there an off season to farming?
No, there's a couple quieter times. For me, it's probably that mid-November to mid-December and maybe mid-March to mid-April that are a little bit quieter, or if we want to go somewhere, that'd be the months to do it. But the fall work goes until freeze up, obviously. It just there's no end to it. And then once things are frozen up good, it seemed like we're hauling grain, and that runs into calving and just one thing after the other. There's not a lot of time off anyway. So maybe not all as busy as it should be, but there's always something to do. And I guess maybe that's one of the things I probably like about it is when I walk out in the morning, I don't actually know which way I'm heading, but by the time I get halfway to the shop, I see 50 different things that all could be done or need to be done. And then I just go from there. So So I can't tell you what I'm doing tomorrow morning, but when it comes, there'll be
something
just
to do.
a list in front of me.
No. So why don't you tell everyone why agriculture is so important, and let's first speak on a global term. Why is it important?
Well, feeding the world. Pretty straightforward there.
Straightforward.
I think it's a fairly good driver. I wouldn't know the numbers, but even in the province of Saskatchewan, it's a lot of of revenue or whatever to contributes to the economy. I guess the best way to put it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a global. I mean, it's a commodity, so it's what happens in the globe has a lot of effect on all people around the prairies anyway. So
right. And what about locally? What would you say? Why is agriculture so important?
Probably more important there. Just I mean, that's where a lot of the people that support the town and the hockey rink, curling rink, and baseball or whatever. Lots of farm kids and whatever, and
right.
Yeah, without that, there's enough kids in town too, but I think it brings out, if you go to a hockey rink or curling rink in the winter, it's probably half the people there come from a farm, at least at some point in their life. So
right. Yeah. No, it is definitely important to our area. In fact, our area is full of stories of men coming from Europe to farm. In fact, in our shared lineage, we have great-grandpa John, and he came over in 1926, and he was on the soldier settlement, and he got his land, and then he actually lost his land, and then he got it back somehow, and that's and they settled in Grenfell, right? North of Grenfell?
North, yeah.
Yeah, north of Grenfell. And then we kind of got here because our parents, your mom, my dad, their parents decided to settle in a farm near Whitewood here. So yeah, that's kind of our shared history. And then I know that you have more grandparents that kind of moved and settled into the area as well, with the main goal of, or like main economic drive of farming, right?
Yeah, they all farmed. On both sides of the family, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. But so much has changed in technology from when they were farming to when you're now farming. So why don't you discuss a little bit about the changes that you have seen even in your lifetime, and also where you think farming is headed in the future?
Yeah, I don't imagine change will ever stop. I probably can't even imagine what things will be like in 20 years, I would think. But even from when I started, there was no GPS. There were maybe the first, self-propelled sprayer would have been pretty new anyway, kind of thing, for the four-wheel drive ones or bigger ones anyway. And now that was just you pulled a little 60-foot sprayer around and you tried to do everything just once in a year. Now that's become the main implementer. You go cross field so many times more with that than anything else. But I would think the GPS and just the different equipment, used to rely on a cultivator and a discer a lot more. That was just coming to an end when I started. I maybe caught the last couple of years of actually pre-working. And then now just the one pass with the drill and seems to do everything, and a lot more time in the sprayer, it seems. Those would be the two things that really pop out.
Right.
Not to mention cell phones, and everybody's got them, and I haven't really jumped on the bandwagon, all the apps to monitor everything or whatever, because I'm usually operating whatever it is, so I know what's going on. But I would think gone to the zero till and living in the sprayer for a month seemed to be the two biggest changes there. That and for the better, I have no doubt.
But also with the technology advances, I think that farming operations are growing larger because of the bigger technology. So why don't you talk a little bit about that shift?
Yeah, it's we probably haven't really changed in size much. I don't know why exactly. I just kind of happy with where we are and doing things on our own kind of thing.
Right.
But yeah, that certainly made it a lot easier. I mean, the bigger equipment, the GPS, you're not looking back over your shoulder watching where your the end shank is on your drill and then where your sprayer boom is. And I come from the days when I started, we were dragging tires behind off the end of the booms to know where we went or whatever like that. Before disc markers or foam markers or whatever, I started dragging wheels and or tires, and it just makes it that much easier to.
Right.
I couldn't imagine going back. I'd be beat halfway through the day, I think, doing that. And I think that's made it a lot easier anyway.
Right.
Not only that, you can put probably somebody pretty green into a piece of equipment because, push the button and you're driving straight. You don't have to worry about them zigzagging or whatever, looking at their phone and leaving misses and whatnot. So I think that's probably made a big difference in the ease of going bigger.
Right. Yeah. No. So we're going to actually play a game of yay or nay is what I called it, but to do it or to not do it. And I'm just going to list something and then you're just going to say yay or nay. And then I might ask you some more questions about that. But stone picking, yay or nay?
Nay.
Nay. Okay. I want to come work on your farm, not my dad's.
I don't know where you're going. I don't like it, but it's a necessary job.
So you do it?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I maybe
No,
missed
that's okay.
the question
what?
there. I thought you meant if I liked it or not.
Oh, well, I like this version a lot better, how you thought of it. I agree. Cultivating, yay or nay. Do you do it or not do it?
No, nay.
No. And why's that?
Just other than some new breaking here and there, zero till.
Right.
It's just,
awesome.
Minimal tillage.
Okay, spraying, yay or nay? Yeah. Would there ever be a nay or no? Always spraying?
No, gotta have it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Perfect. Renting land, yay or nay?
Yay. Yeah.
Yay. Cattle, yay or nay?
Yay, they serve a purpose.
Okay.
I don't have many left anymore, but they're certainly valuable on them acres that are not worth or not, not arable land or whatever.
Right.
It's a way to control grass and whatnot and get something out of it at the same time.
Right.
So.
Alpaca farming, yay or nay?
Probably nay. I don't know anything about it. So
you don't want to get into alpaca farming?
I've got some socks and I like them there in the winter. But I know nothing about it. It could be a great opportunity, but I couldn't tell you.
You don't want to start selling your own socks?
No, I'm not going to start making them. I'll buy them for a little bit that I use them. So.
Okay, so that's enough with that game, but let's go back to some more questions here. So every field has a name, right?
Yes.
Okay, and so how did these names come about?
Pretty much all previous owners.
Okay.
Yeah. The only thing is the previous owners that I know are probably not the previous owners that you know, so I'm probably going back 2 or 3 owners.
Oh, okay.
Is the name that seems to have stuck.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough, because I actually think Dad was talking to a guy, I think even from Grenfell one time, in like a hockey rink or something, and he said the Bartlum farm. So our family hasn't been there for quite a while, but the Bartlum name is still stuck in some field over there. So yeah,
I know who farms it and calls it that.
Okay, yeah. And then even my favorite field name, honestly, is the one that I believe you're renting from my dad right now, but the Funny Farm. Yeah. That's my favorite field name. So, and
that came from a different, or the Auntie Grace gave it that name, but,
right? Because didn't the story of that one isn't she just walked out onto the field and said, "This is a funny farm"?
Yeah,
and then it just stuck.
It stuck. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Okay, and so when you give directions to your dad or Amanda, they know what field you're talking about?
Oh yeah. Without a doubt, yeah.
Yeah. So what did you plant this year, and how did you pick what you seeded and where you seeded it?
Canola, wheat, and oats. Mm-hmm. And as far as picking, it's just following a rotation.
Okay.
It's pretty straightforward. The oats and wheat change because I don't grow. Obviously, about half the farm is canola, and the other farm is half is wheat and oats, less oats and wheat. But just rotate depending on which field. Some have less wild oats, seed the oats in there or whatever, and which more has to do with the variety of canola that was seeded the year before. So always kind of planning out 2 years in advance which varieties of canola go where, just for better control of certain weeds or whatever, and just a rotation. Thought about some other crops maybe because these didn't look very profitable back before seeding, but ended up just sticking with them.
Sticking with what you
Yeah.
know. Yeah. So, like, do you rotate, like, every year as a different crop in a field? Or,
Oh,
like, is
yeah.
it,
Yeah. Ideally, trying to get to a 3-year rotation, but it hasn't seemed to caught on yet. Some acres will, but canola pretty much takes half or 40% anyway, the farm.
Right.
Every year, so.
Okay. So, when you are checking your fields, what exactly are you looking for?
Oh, a little bit of everything, but mostly weeds, I would say. Checking depth, just to see if some runs aren't earlier on in the year. Obviously, if they're coming up later with something, there'll be something wrong or something need adjusting on the air drill. But typically, it's looking for weeds.
Right.
What to spray, and then after spraying, if something got missed or certain weed is still growing, maybe it was a poor choice of chemical or whatever, and just remember that for next year. So
right. And then after that, harvest is coming up, and then when do you know it's time to take the crop off? Do you like have any like telltale signs or?
no, just moisture is just
Yeah.
once it gets dry, nothing complicated there.
And when you take that crop off, what do you do with the grain?
Well, eventually it'll all go into town or to the elevator or elevators.
Right.
But a little bit will go to town right off the combine because never seem to have enough bin space. But I've been working on that last few years, so the most of it'll get bin just for I don't like sitting in lineups in town or whatever. So we bin it and worry about taking it in after harvester and.
Right, when you have a little bit more time to sit
or
around.
mornings when it's dewy or something like that.
Right.
Sneak a bit into town then, but
right.
Yeah.
And then in the bins, like you have like big fans that like try and help dry it. Or,
yeah. Most of them all, not all of them yet, but most of the ones we put up in the last 10 years or so all have aeration, so we can get going a little bit earlier, mix some off, cool it. Usually it's more a cooling thing than a moisture thing. Just try if it's 30 degrees and we're combining, put it in there and run the fans at night for a couple weeks and then move the grain into other bins without fans or whatever, let it get cooled down. So
alright, so talk a little bit about, because you talked about taking it to the elevator here, so talk a little bit about selling grain and what affects the prices right now.
Oh, that's a tough one. It's well, everything can affect it, from crap going on in the Middle East to rains in South America to you name it. It's a global thing that affects the prices for sure. That's something that we've got no control over, but try to mitigate that by watching the prices or seeing what their the stats can report. If they've got more of one commodity seeded than others or one's lower, last year they said the oats was off quite a bit on intended seeded acres, so that's why I seeded a little more oats this year, just maybe there'll be a bump in price there or whatever. But
so is the trade wars right now that Canada has with our neighbors to the south affecting the prices at all? Can you tell? Or
I don't think they're affecting that. They're certainly going to affect the price of our inputs, phosphorus for sure, and certain chemicals. I have no doubt. That's more on Canada's retaliatory tariffs that are going to affect that price. It's got nothing with the U.S. I mean, that's a long-term game there, but yeah, the retaliatory tariffs are certainly going to affect our input price. There's no doubt. I wish they would have just left that alone, but
so how do you measure success on the farm?
Well, I don't know. There's a couple ways to look at that. There's financial, but that's not everything either. Just a long term, I would think just happy, healthy family would be a better way to rate success than anything. But but along with that, if you're not profitable, you it's pretty tough to have it on the other side too. So yeah, it would almost be nice sometimes if things just weren't so volatile. You knew what.
Right.
Probably the first 10 years I farmed, canola was between $8 and $8.25. Like it never changed after the first couple of years. It was really low, but then everything seemed to stay the same. You could put in your bank on. It wasn't a great income, but you knew what it was going to be. You knew what you're going to have for payments. Now stuff can, whether it be inputs or crop, can change by so much there in a matter of a week. It seems that there's just, which is more room to gain there, more room to lose too.
So what is one of the biggest challenges farmers are facing today?
Well, I think just uncertainty or that volatility, uncertainty in the world. It's you don't know what. Like I said there a minute ago, it is canola going to be $15 next fall, or is it going to be $8, or is it going to be $26? It's just it's got just as good a chance of going any direction. Then that's the part I don't know what I'd say struggle with, but it's just trying to wrap my head around what to grow, what it'll be worth, and it's just so up and down. It makes it hard to
it makes it hard to predict a lot. I know Dad once said, if you like gambling, then you should become a farmer.
Yeah,
because he says pretty much everything is, you just hope for the best after you plant it.
Yeah.
So yeah. So do you have any advice for future farmers? Like, what would be the best piece of advice you got, and what would be something you would give?
Well, I don't know. It's I would like to say, I've done everything backwards, or if it were to me, I would say, control your debt or whatever, but don't get too deep into it. But at the same time, that would be completely wrong. For what I've seen in my career, a person should have been buying land and buying equipment 10, 15 years ago, and didn't matter what the payments were, whatever, it would have turned out being really smart. So, like I say, I would struggle to take my advice, because it's been opposite to what I would have guessed.
Right.
But it won't be easy anyway, just with the prices of everything where it is. I don't know how somebody would start without some help from somewhere. That said, we're using 25 to 35-year-old equipment, and I think our crops are no different than the guy that's got a drill and a tractor worth 20 times, 25 times what we paid.
Right.
They're going to do a lot more acres in a day, no doubt. But yeah, that's what I would say, and that's what I did. Kind of started out small, but if I had to do over again, I wouldn't follow that advice. So.
Was there someone that gave you a piece of advice that kind of stuck with you throughout your farming that you always think about?
I don't, nothing that really
stands out right now.
No. Other than Grandpa Jeff always said, buy land, and it turned out it would have been certainly good advice looking at what the land price has done from an investment side for sure, but that takes, again, when I started, there was no money. It wasn't there was a reason land was cheap too, right? There was no it's all relative. It's almost easier. It is easier to pay for it now at these prices. Just if a person would have been buying sooner. Yeah. He used to always say, don't sell the factory too. That'd be more with cows. Cows are your factory, right? Don't sell off the cows. Do what you can to keep them around, because that's your income. It's pretty easy when there's a sale here every Tuesday, and you need a few bucks to just haul a cow in. There's nothing to it, but that cow's gonna bring calf in next year. So but
this question is based off of something that is kind of like universally said, I think. I don't know. I was raised in a farming family as well, but they say farmers never retire. And I kind of feel like that's true looking at my dad right now.
Yeah.
But What age are you planning on retiring at?
Well, I'm hoping to. Yeah, I don't know if I ever fully retire, but ideally, if the kids or all three or any one of them or whatever would start working their way into it and taking it over, because there's more days that I think about quitting than there is that I think about expanding here now. That's for sure and certain. I don't know whether to put an age on it. It would be whenever somebody's if one of the kids wants to take it over, it'd be whenever they're capable or whatever, and it probably won't be a black and white line. It'll be they'll work their way into it. Same with what I did. I mean, I started with a bunch of cows and no land, and slowly Dad had all the land and I was baling straw off his land, and slowly it seemed to go somewhere. Now I think I've probably got more grain acres than what he farms. It's just kind of a transition over the last 10 or 15 years or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So.
No, we're in our transition phase at my farm right now. So.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like Dad retired and then came out of retirement.
Yeah.
So I really do think that saying is true, that farmers don't really retire. So, and even when he was retired, we called him semi-retired because he still worked for like you.
And that's what I mean. You never quit, even if somebody rented it all or took it all or bought it all or whatever. It's what I know, what I enjoy. It wouldn't be the 350 days early in the morning or anything, but I guarantee you'd probably be sitting in a tractor or combine or stone picker or something somewhere for somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even that's with like my mom's side of the family. Like that's what Papa did for a while. He would go
still at the farm every day.
Yeah. So, your mom has a book out called The Lighter Side of Life Down on the Farm, which can be purchased at Court's Book Nook or borrowed from the Whitewood Library here. And in her book, she shares stories that mostly take place on your farm. And if you were to add or highlight a story, which one would that be?
I don't know. Probably some of the stuff that the kids have come up with over the years always seem to when they're young and their minds, they just say what's on their mind, and quite often it makes more sense. Like I think we overthink stuff way too much, and when some of the kids were 4 or 5 years old, I think some of what they said, and I got no examples off the top of my head. I just remember reading them things in Mom's thing, and they're probably worth a lot more to listen to when they're that age, because there's no gray areas in there. It's just they say it the way it is, and it should probably be listened to more than any kids do. They seem to make more sense.
So, as if you weren't busy enough running your farm, you're also an RM counselor. So why don't you share what the role of an RM counselor has and how that differs from a town counselor?
I don't know how to compare them because I've never been to a town council meeting, but basically it's just the board to make decisions. There's 6 councils in a reeve, and just any decision, big or small, goes through that monthly meeting, and we just take a vote on anything that seems to entail to do with running the RM. And I'm assuming the town would be very similar.
Right.
But like I said, I've never been to town meetings, so I couldn't tell you how they differ.
Fair enough. So why do you feel that it was important for you to sit on council?
I don't know if it's important necessarily, but I guess just putting in my time and figured I had something valuable to add, just having another mind in there or whatever, and we use the roads and whatever all day, every day, it seems.
And while I have you, I would love to also highlight another business venture that you have, which is your fishing lodge. So tell us a little bit about how you are now a part owner of a fishing camp and a little bit about the camp itself.
I always wanted one ever since I started going north, 20 some years ago or whatever. And so this one come up. The ones we've looked at in the past were a lot further north, and and fly in and expensive to get to and whatnot. And then this one come up just not that far away, but there's ways we can drive in on 4-wheelers or boat in, or highway runs past the lake, or fly in. Most of the guests come in that way, and it's my getaway. Once you get up there, the phone quits ringing or doesn't ring or whatever, although now with the internet up there that's changing a bit, but it's I find it so peaceful and relaxing. There's just the phone shut off, you're gone. There's no, you can't hear planes in the distance or trains or cars or anything. It's just silence, and I've enjoyed that forever. And
Right.
we've been looking at camps, I guess, for 20 years, something like that, and this one come up that was a little easier to access, so it's easier to get there, and
Right.
and not everything has to be flown in, so it brings costs down a bit, and really enjoy it.
That's good. And I don't know if we've even mentioned the name of it yet, but it's
Pine Point Lodge.
yeah. And then just because we know that there's been a lot of forest fires up north, has your camp been affected by that at all?
A little bit. We never lost anything, but the fires have burned everything around us. One side of camp, it's probably not much more than 60 or 100 feet, and the other side it burnt right up to, I don't even know, 12, 16 feet or whatever from some sheds. So fires were really close, but
Right.
bombers got on it at the right time, and got a hold of that, so we didn't lose anything. And
That's awesome.
the only thing we had to cancel, there's about a month's worth of people coming up that had to cancel, or
Right.
some will rebook hopefully and
Yeah.
whatnot, but
Yeah.
it's better than losing it anyway. So
Yes. Yeah. No, it's actually quite amazing how much your camp was spared from the fires, because they got pretty close there. But this is one thing I've been asking on all my podcasts at the end, but what is one way that this community can support you, or can support like the agriculture industry in our area?
Well, probably more just understanding, or buy local where you can, is what I would say. You can buy beef off the farm or whatever. Is certainly, you probably pay the same price or even less, and and the farmer gets more at the end, kind of thing. On the cattle side anyway. And then I don't know, the grain seems to be not a lot stays around it all, goes to crushers or overseas on rail or whatever, but probably more knowledge than anything is worth something, just understanding where your food comes from.
Right.
And that's what I would usually try. If you see any food that's made in China or Japan versus something with made in Canada, I'd always probably take the made in Canada one over that. So
Right.
and and from a farmer standpoint, I mean, obviously we buy seeds, and what a seed usually comes from, it's locally grown anyway, or bought off a seed farm in Canada. So
Okay. That's really all my questions that I have for you, but is there anything else that you would like to tell the audience before we end this podcast?
No, I don't think so. I think you've did a good job.
Oh, thank you.
Covering the bases.
Yeah. No, well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Well, thank you.